Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Lacey. I'm an over 40 no niche creative using weekly themes to declutter my art supplies and my fabric stash. And it is Florals for Spring Groundbreaking Week. I painted quite a few sunflowers, so a few have been turned into shorts, and this is a longer video. This is more of a walkthrough of how I did it, but you could follow along and paint your own as well. Also, if you just want a relaxing art video, just mute me and you can even speed it up for a time lapse. I am using fluid acrylics, which I greatly prefer over watercolor because I think they act like watercolor, but the tones are so much bolder. They don't really lighten much when they dry. I tend to apply too much, or if there's too much in one area, and try to remove kind of as much as you can or how much you want to with a paper towel. The fun part about painting expressively is you can kind of go all out, but a paper towel helps you pull it back in where needed. I have already loosely sketched the flower itself with just a light pencil, and I'm working background first. If you want to ensure that no blues or greens or colors you don't want in your sunflower end up in the petals, you can definitely use a masking fluid. I'm just working a little more loosely than that. I am using one of my favorite colors. It is phthalo blue green shade from Golden Fluid Acrylics. Any phthalo blue, just the best. And I'm not really a blue person. I was working on multiple paintings at the same time, so I did let this dry before I started adding the yellow. Okay, now it's time to add the browns for the center of the flower. Hot tip, purple and yellow make a really nice brown. And you can use a paper towel and pick up some of the extra paint, and that will leave behind some of the texture of the watercolor paper, which adds to the appearance so that it's like the center of a sunflower. I like to work in mixed media. This is an acrylic paint marker. They also make oil-based paint markers, which are great, but keep in mind, oil over acrylic, not the other way around. After the paint marker has dried, it is time for one of my favorite parts, which is applying a contrast line or outline to, I think this comes from being a tattooer. I've had too many years of high contrast outline, but I like that, unlike tattooing, you do this part at the end so you can kind of pinpoint where each petal will be. You can draw beyond the edges. I'm just kind of adding some, you can see it's almost like a one-line drawing. I'm not really picking up the pen, I'm just adding details where I want, adding so that it adds depth. This is a black Tombow calligraphy pen. I don't generally feel that everyone needs to use a specific supply. However, those Tombow markers are really good. I believe they are permanent when dry, meaning you could put watercolor back over without it spreading everywhere, but definitely something when you're mixing media to test on a separate piece of paper. For bolder lines, I am using a Higgins Black Magic ink marker. This is not permanent, so if you use a marker like this is why it's good to test. It would smudge if you apply water or more paint to it. So it should be the last step, or no more wet materials, just dry. Again, this might come from tattooing, but I like to mix line weights, and I am adding some more details to some of the insides and outsides of the petals. So unlike tattooing, these white highlights don't feel like fire, but you still have to be careful not to overdo it. I am using a fine line applicator bottle. When you buy them, they're empty, and then you add your preferred paint to them. I'm actually using a thinned down airbrush paint. They're really nice for stippling, but if you squeeze too hard, it can explode everywhere. You kind of have to be careful. And that is it. We have a finished fluid acrylic sunflower painting on a watercolor postcard. If you have any questions about this walkthrough or any suggestions for a future painting tutorial, please let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.